Hello, my dear children. Welcome to your biology class. Hope all of you are doing well at your home and all of you have started revising your chapters for half yearly exam. For biology, on last live class, teacher have mentioned about portions included for half yearly exam, that is till page number 92, including the function of nucleus. And by today's class, we will cover the portions for half yearly exam. So I welcome all of you students to your biology class. Children, last class we learned about part of cell, and we learned for a typical cell there are three parts. They are cell membrane, cytoplasm and nucleus. We learned about cell membrane and cytoplasm and their functions in detail in last class. In today's class we are going to learn about nucleus, that is the third part of a cell. Nucleus. As I mentioned in the live class, nucleus is the most important component of a living cell, and it is a large spherical body present in the cell. We have learned about staining technique, isn't it? So when we stain a cell, nucleus can be seen easily through the microscope. We have seen the model of animal cell and plant cell. Animal cell, nucleus lies at the center of the cell. Whereas in plant cell, it is present in the peripheral region of the cell. So about the nucleus, it is the most important component of a cell. It is a large and spherical structure in the cell. We can easily see this nucleus when we stain the cell and observe through the microscope. In animal cell, nucleus is seen in the central region of the cell, whereas in plant cell, nucleus is present on the periphery of the cell because the plant cell contains a large vacuole in the central region. A nucleus consists of four parts. They are nuclear membrane, nucleoplasm, nucleolus and chromosomes. So nucleus consists of four parts. They are, first one is nuclear membrane. Nuclear membrane. Nuclear membrane. The second one is nucleoplasm. Nucleoplasm. Now the third one is nucleolus. Nucleolus. The fourth one is chromosomes. Chromosomes. So the nucleus consists of four parts. They are nuclear membrane, nucleoplasm, nucleolus and chromosome. Now let's learn these parts one by one. So children, let's learn about the first part, that is nuclear membrane. We know that nucleus is present within the cell and the cell contains cytoplasm, which is a fluid material, and the cell organelles and nucleus are embedded inside the cytoplasm. And nucleus has a special membrane called nuclear membrane. So teacher have just represented a diagram to explain the parts of nucleus. Here nucleus is having a separate membrane. See, there is an outer membrane which covers the nucleus, and this separate membrane of nucleus is called nuclear membrane. So children, can you recollect the name of membrane that covers the cell? Yes, cell membrane, isn't it? We have learned in last class about the function of cell membrane. Function of cell membrane, that is, it is selectively permeable and it separates the cell from adjacent medium, isn't it? So likewise, our nuclear membrane is also selectively permeable, or it is having a or it is having some pores in between. Here teacher have represented few gaps. See, few pores in between the nuclear membrane. See, it is because the nuclear membrane is porous in nature. The nuclear membrane is porous in nature. That is why teacher have represented few gaps in between nuclear membrane. It also shows selective permeability. So nuclear membrane conduct few materials from cytoplasm to nucleus and from nucleus to cytoplasm. The membrane is porous and it allows the movement of selected materials between cytoplasm and nucleus. So we learned about the first part of nucleus, that is nuclear membrane. Nuclear membrane is the outer covering of the nucleus which separate the nucleus from cytoplasm. This nuclear membrane is also porous in nature. That is, it allows the passage of materials between cytoplasm and nucleus. Now let's learn about nucleoplasm, which is the second part of nucleus. Nucleoplasm is a dense fluid present inside the nucleus. Teacher have marked this fluid as nucleoplasm. It is the dense fluid present inside the nucleus. Now children, we have learned about the fluid present inside the cell. What is it called? Yes, the fluid or the jelly materials present in the cell is called cytoplasm. And here nucleoplasm is the fluid present inside the nucleus. So we learned about the second part of the nucleus, that is nucleoplasm. Now we will learn about the third part of the nucleus, that is nucleolus. Teacher have marked this spherical dense body as nucleolus. Nucleolus is a small spherical body present inside the nucleus, and this nucleolus is rich in RNA materials. Nucleolus is rich in RNA materials, that is ribonucleic acid materials. We learned about nucleolus. Nucleolus is a small spherical body present inside the nucleus, and nucleolus is rich in RNA material. Now let's learn about chromosomes. Teacher have marked this thread-like materials as chromosomes. These chromosomes are thread-like structures composed of DNA materials. Chromosomes are composed of DNA materials, that is deoxyribonuclease materials, and they are suspended in nucleoplasm. We learned that nucleoplasm is the fluid material inside the nucleus, and these chromosomes are thread-like materials that are suspended inside the nucleoplasm. This thread-like material or fibers are called chromatin fibers. They are called chromatin fibers. The thread-like structures that are suspended inside the nucleoplasm is called chromatin fibers. And when a cell divides, this chromatin fibers condense to form chromosomes. When we observe a dividing cell using the microscope, you can see chromosomes, whereas when we observe a non-dividing cell under the microscope, we can see chromatin fibers. Function of these chromosomes are they carry genes. Chromosomes carry genes. Genes are the genetical materials of an organism. So genes are the genetical material of the organism, and these genes are responsible to carry genetical characters from a parent to offspring. Each one of you may be having the characters of your father and mother, isn't it? Some of your hair may be resembling your father, whereas some of your skin color may be represent your mother's. It is because the genes in our body carries the genetical characters or inheritance of our parents. Children, we have just learned about the chromosomes. Chromosomes are present as thread-like structures and they are suspended inside the nucleoplasm. Thread-like structures are called chromatin fibers. In a dividing cell, these chromatin fibers condense to form chromosomes. They contain the DNA materials, and chromosome carries the genes, and genes are responsible for passing the genetical characters from the parents to offsprings. So we have learned about the 4 parts of the nucleus. Now let's learn the function of nucleus. So the first function of the nucleus is it controls all the metabolic activity of a cell. So the first function is control all metabolic activities. So the first function of the nucleus is it controls all the metabolic activity of a cell. The second function of the nucleus is it is responsible for passing of genetic characteristics from parents to offsprings. So the second function is passing characteristics. So the second function is it is responsible in passing the genetical characteristics from parents to offsprings. For example, if a man has a brown eyes, his son or daughter may have brown eyes. And likewise, if a woman has a curly hair, there is chance for getting curly hair for her son or daughter. So likewise, the characters can be inherited. So children, let's summarize what we have learned in today's class.
Nucleus. It is the most important component of the living cell. Nucleus is a large and spherical structure present in all cells. After staining, it can be easily seen with the help of a microscope. In animal cells, nucleus lies at the center of the cell, whereas in plant cell, it is present at the periphery of the cell due to the presence of a large vacuole. The nucleus consists of the following 4 parts. Nuclear membrane. Nucleus is separated from the cytoplasm by a double membrane called the nuclear membrane. This membrane is also porous and allows the movement of selected materials between the cytoplasm and the nucleus. Nucleoplasm. A dense fluid in the nucleus is called nucleoplasm. Nucleolus. It is a small nucleolus. It is a small spherical body present inside the nucleus. It is rich in RNA, ribonucleic acid. Chromosomes, some fine thread-like structures composed of deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA, are suspended in the nucleoplasm. These are called chromatin fibers in the dividing nucleus. These chromatin fibers condense and form chromosomes. Due to this, chromosomes are only visible in the dividing cells. These chromosomes carry genes. Gene is the unit of inheritance in living organisms. Genes are responsible for passing genetic characteristics from the parents to the offspring. A child receives one copy of each gene from the mother and another copy of the same gene from the father. Functions. The nucleus controls all metabolic activities of the cell. It is responsible for passing genetic characteristics from the parents to the offspring. If a person has brown eyes, his son or daughter may also have brown eyes. If a woman has curly hair, her son or daughter may also have curly hair. However, different combinations of genes from parents may result in different characteristics.
So my dear children, kindly read the page number 91 and 92 Read and mark the important points on parts of nucleus and function and its function. Kindly comment your response after watching this video and feel free to ask if you have any doubts. By today's class, we have covered our portions for half yearly exams, and in last live class have started our revision of first chapter. From next class onwards, we will continue our revision. We will continue with the first chapter portion, that is agriculture. So students, kindly revise the first chapter and the second chapter before our next class. See you in next class. Thank you.